Mm,
I
I don't
believe
know.
all
So the
animals
pets
should be
question.
given, respect and love and stuff. Yeah, so do you guys have any
For
pets?
sure, for sure.
Yes. I've got,
Right.
You have a
I've got
goldfish.
fish. I have,
You have a fish?
so I have a betta fish and I have 2 catfish. So I have like a little aquarium,
Oh,
and
how sweet. So do you care
Yeah.
for the fish yourself? You
yeah,
clean
yeah,
the aquarium and stuff?
I do. I think one of them's dead actually. Uh,
Oh. When did you last
He
check
doesn't
on
know.
them?
Well,
Do
so-
you
He
doesn't
think
know.
she's dead?
No. So here's the thing, right?
Zufishan, see, he doesn't know.
Hey guys. So I'm gonna start this with a heads up. You will hear dogs barking in the background during this episode, and that's because we're actually talking to Zufishan, who runs a animal shelter. She has spent a lot of time of her life just dedicated to saving animals, and she's done such a great job. I'm gonna let her take it away, but basically, I didn't know it was possible to grow an animal shelter so fast and have something so big and so impactful the way she's made this. So it's a project I really want to hear more about. So, how are you doing? How's your day been going? What's been going on?
Hey Salman, thank you for having me on the podcast, and I feel so happy sitting in front of you guys, young youth of our country, which is, more
yeah.
interested in interesting things. So it makes me happy because we're all from the same age group, and doing something for animals is like, a passion turned into work or a cause. And I have been
Yeah.
raised up with animals, I've grown with animals, I've been living with pets. Literally, when I used to come back from school, my pets used to welcome me rather than my family. So basically, how JFK started was that my pet dog, Kiki, was shot. And when she was shot, I
Yeah.
turned, losing her and her pain into my power, and JFK came into, a form, and JFK was started over there. So since then, I've been saving a lot of animals. I've been rescuing them, rehabilitating them, providing them free treatments. We have an ambulance. So, there's a lot going on, and it's all about animals in my life. So, yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
so
One
do
thing.
you?
Okay, so guys, I'm going to just
Okay.
preface this. I'm just going to preface this. JFK stands for Justice for Kiki. Kiki was our dog's name, and guys, number one, I've lost a pet before, and clearly we've had completely different results. Zufishan over here started an entire animal shelter. I just vowed to never own a pet again in my entire life. Two completely different results from the same event, essentially, like losing a pet. But it's
Yeah.
crazy, matlab Zufishan. How does one do that? Like how did you get the drive to do it? Like did somebody recommend that you start an animal shelter, or was it something that just came from the inside? What was it? I'm really want to know the source of your faith and all that.
Nobody recommended me to do this. In fact, I
Yeah.
faced a lot of backlash from a lot of people when I got into animals.
Okay.
So, what happened
Okay.
was that when I lost Kiki and I saw her dead body, it was, literally piled up in hundreds of other stray dogs that were shot the same day. So, I realized that, I cannot do something for Kiki and I could not get justice for her. But what I can do is I can, save other Kikis out there. They don't even have a family, they don't even have an owner. So,
Yeah.
I became their mother and I started saving them. And
Oh, wow.
basically, it was again, I would say my pain was turned into power, and that's what made me do so many things.
Yeah.
Kiki has always been in my mind. And whenever I help
My
an
God.
animal, I know that that
God.
animal is going to go up there and tell Kiki that, see, your mama is doing such amazing things on earth. So this is how I keep on
God.
going and what motivates me.
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
fucking crazy, Zufishan.
that is really
Yeah.
nice.
My heart is just like, this is the most heartwarming and the most wholesome episode we will ever have on the podcast. I'm saying it right now, straight up.
I think you guys should definitely come and visit the shelter someday.
For
And
sure.
each dog
for
over
sure.
there, each and every animal over there, they have a story. They're not just animals to me, because I have been picking them up, I have been treating them, I know their pain, I know their past.
Yeah.
So it is something like going through storybooks when I enter the shelter.
Yeah.
because each kennel has a story, each dog has a story of pain,
Yeah.
abuse, love, and healing. So healing them is the
Oh my
entire
God.
goal of this, and providing them a
Yeah.
permanent home. And they're not just like rescues to
Yeah.
me. All of these dogs and cats and even donkeys, they're all like my pets. I don't treat them any different from how I used to treat Kiki. So they're all very special to me. I'm really connected to them. I don't go on holidays. I don't like taking breaks. JFK is where I spend all my weekends. JFK is where I spend all my holidays. And I have been into,
That's
I
what's true
went through a
passion.
lot of depression. I went into depression after I
Okay.
lost Kiki, because seeing the
Yeah.
blood and all the dead bodies
Yeah.
and stuff.
Mhm.
So
Mm-hmm.
animals
Yeah.
helped me overcome that pain. Animals healed me. And I
Wow.
tell you what, Salman and
Wow.
Saad, there are a lot of depression patients that have been coming to the shelter. I cannot obviously disclose their identities, but they have been feeling a lot
Yeah.
better coming to the shelter.
That is really nice.
So animals
Wow.
heal you, and they're like
Wow.
antidepressants, I would say, for me at least.
Oh my God.
So
Okay.
Oh my God.
What I want to know is, do you know how many animals you've rescued? Like, do you keep count?
I I never count. But I think roughly about 1,500, because
Wow.
only
Fucking
two.
100 in a year. 1,500
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
year. Guys, we haven't
Yeah.
been able to even hit 100 episodes in a year. She's been hitting 1,500 animals in a year, dude. We talk about
You
like,
know
we talk about all
what
the
our
greatest
normal
things on the
count
planet.
per day is 10.
1,500.
Our normal count per day is 10. So yeah, you can.
So,
10 animals
do
a
you
day.
then have like 1,500 animals at the shelter?
No. That's how many we have rescued and
Right.
treated and rehabilitated.
So then, do you
Some
let
have,
them
some
back
have
out,
already
or
died.
do you like find new owners
No,
for
we
the ones that live?
don't. We don't let them out. We try to find them homes. We try to get them adopted. And 1,500 numbers include rabbits and birds also. That is why it's a big number.
Oh, I love rabbits.
Because
Wow.
in Pakistan, there are these slaughter shops, these butcher shops, where they keep these rabbits underground. Like, if you
Okay.
go and ask
Really?
them that you want rabbit meat, they'll only slaughter and show you the rabbit then. So I know those places where the butcher, they slaughter these rabbits. So I rescue them and I get them adopted. So
Oh.
वो तो मैंने बहुत hundreds में किए हैं. So a very
Are you
large
vegan,
number
by the way?
includes
Are you
rabbits and
vegan?
birds.
Are
I'm
you
not
vegan or
vegan.
vegetarian?
I'm not vegan, I would say. I'm not vegan,
Yeah.
but you can say I'm almost vegetarian.
Okay.
But eating
Alright.
meat, I'll tell you about that. A lot of people question me about this, that how can you love animals, help animals if you're not a vegan and stuff.
Yeah.
For that, I would say
Yeah.
that our religion, Islam, has given us a lot of
Yeah.
rights about animals, even the slaughtered animals. So the way slaughter is conducted in our country, in these local shops, this is not an Islamic way.
Yeah.
I don't
It's just
consider
not
it
good
Islamic.
conditions.
They don't even follow these rules and stuff. So that meat is obviously not halal meat. So eating that is no good. So
More
when
or
you
less.
know the meat is
More or
coming
less it's
from
not halal meat,
cruelty
yeah.
and stuff. Yeah. So yeah.
Hmm.
So
Wow.
this
Yeah,
is how
literally,
it all is.
literally.
So
it's-
do you
it's
guys
highlighted-
have any
it's highlighted
pets?
that in order for meat to be halal, it's wait. Before we get into the whole pet story, it's literally highlighted in Islam that if for
Huh.
meat to be halal, animal have to be treated good. They have to be raised in good conditions. They have to have a
They can't
fairly
see
painless
each
death.
other being slaughtered. Yeah.
Yeah. And yet we've got these so many fucking cattle just lined up, and they're just like watching them
Yeah.
sharpen the knives and just.
And most of them, most of these livestock animals have their broken bones, and while
They
they're
do?
slaughtered.
Oh, wow.
So imagine the pain. Yeah, they have broken bones because they mishandle them. And even these hen, they don't even have any feathers on their body because they have so much infections and bruises and wounds and whatnot. So
Yeah.
that is where our meat is coming from.
Yeah.
That is not halal anyway.
Yeah.
So this is what I tell people when they call
Damn.
me that why
Yeah.
vegan and stuff. I said I don't like eating meat, and the meat we're eating is obviously
Yeah.
not coming from a
Yeah.
good source.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mm.
I
don't
believe
know. So,
all
the pet
animals should be
question.
given respect and love and stuff. Yeah. So do you guys have any pets?
Sure, for sure.
Yes. I've got
Great.
well,
You have a
I've got
goldfish.
fish. I have
You have a fish.
so I have a beta fish and I have 2 catfish. So I have like a little aquarium,
Oh,
and
how sweet. So, do you care
Yeah.
for the fish yourself? You
yeah,
clean the
yeah,
aquarium and stuff?
I do. I think one of them's dead actually. Uh,
Oh. When did you last
He
check
doesn't
on
know.
them?
He
Do you
doesn't
think
know.
she's dead?
No, no, no. So here's the thing, right?
Zufishan, see, he doesn't know.
Listen. Like the catfish are kind of one of them's kind of nocturnal because it's a different like breed of catfish.
Uh-huh.
So in the day, it usually just like hides inside this little like decoration house I have.
Okay.
So often I'll go like 2, 3, 4 days without actually seeing the fish because it'll go out and get food at night or like when the lights are off or when it's dark.
Oh.
But
It has a unique personality. I've never had it as my
Yeah.
pet, so
Yeah.
I don't know about it. I've had goldfish when I was little, but I never kept this kind of a fish before, so I don't know the personality. Because goldfish, they like a lot of happening things in the aquarium. They need attention. They need a lot of things to explore. They're always on
Yeah.
the move.
yeah,
The
no.
goldfish guy,
Yeah.
All the fish
Yeah.
I've got are kind of different, but yeah, this one I
Yeah.
haven't seen him, and I know where he is, but he's not moving, and like he might be dead. I'm gonna find out later
Oh.
today because I have to clean out the entire
So
tank.
do they
anyway.
need do these fish need any vet visits? Like, do you take them to it? Can you observe that a fish is sick or not?
No, you can take the water to like a pet store and they can test it and see like the chemical balances. So
Oh,
like it's
okay,
more you just
okay.
need to manage the chemicals and then like
I
if there's
see, I
anything
see.
wrong with it, you have to like self-diagnose it and then like buy the appropriate treatment. But
Okay.
like it's
So, Saad, do you have any pets?
Man,
Or your
Zufishan,
pet
you're
passed
hitting
away? I think that was your last pet.
You're hitting a you're hitting a
I think
touchy
that was your.
subject,
Was that your
Zufishan.
last pet? Was that
Yeah,
your
it was like
last
when I was a
pet?
kid. When I was a kid, yeah, I had like 2
Oh,
cranes.
you've never
both
had a
3 to
pet
4 feet
again.
tall. Yeah, then after
Oh,
that,
yeah,
after
yeah,
the
yeah.
pet,
You
after
told
that
me
passed
about
away.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. So after my
Hmm.
cranes, by the way, fun fact, guys. After I had 2 cranes, they were 3 to 4 feet tall. They were both beautiful creatures, red eyes, amazing birds. Passed away.
Mm-hmm.
I literally saw them on the ground. They were being eaten up by ants, and I was like, dude, nope, never again.
Oh
It's just
no.
in my
Oh,
opinion,
no.
dude.
So
Since
maybe
pets have
you
such a
should
small
adopt an
life
animal
cycle-
that is.
Since pets have
Yeah.
such a small life
Yeah,
cycle,
it
I feel like
sucks.
it's like the pain isn't
Hmm.
worth it. The pain isn't
Hmm.
worth it for me. Like every time I
Yeah.
get
You know what
attached
you
to
should
it,
get?
and then it'll pass away, and then you repeat the cycle again. What? A
Get
turtle?
a tortoise.
A
Yeah, a turtle. My friend had one
Yeah,
and it was
turtles
amazing.
live such a long life. They have such a long
Turtles live
lifespan.
beyond
Get a
me.
turtle,
Yeah,
yeah.
they live beyond me.
I had two.
They live
I
beyond me.
named them Speedo and Shelly. I had 2 pet tortoises. I named them
Amazing.
Speedo and Shelly. And I
Speedo and
was
Shelly,
really
wow.
attached
I
to
really-
them when I was little.
Right.
Yeah.
They'll
That's
outlive
amazing.
you for sure
But-
because they live so
one
long.
but one of the animals that I'm really interested in are snakes. Because I've always been interested in owning,
Really?
like, just owning a pet snake. Like that's the coolest thing ever. Like imagine a guy
But
walking
I
around with a
think
fucking
that
snake around his
I-
like arm or a hand, and like it's the coolest thing ever.
But you know what? When I started, studying about animals, getting to know their cruelty and stuff, I've been doing a lot of researches. And I've also
Yeah.
enrolled myself in an NGO program, which, gives me a lot of
Yeah.
insight about these wildlife and stuff. So I think
Yeah.
these snakes don't belong in homes. I think they belong in their own natural habitat, and, keeping
Really?
them in
Alright.
houses and stuff in an unnatural
corn
way,
snakes?
I don't think it's
What
right.
about corn snakes? The tiny ones,
I don't-
the corn snakes.
I think they all come from cruelty because somewhere, someplace, somebody is, breeding their mother. I don't know how they're bred,
Yeah.
but they must be coming from cruelty and stuff. So yeah.
I mean,
So,
it's
yeah.
the same for
Maybe.
fish, like the way because they're not
bred.
bred locally, right?
Fish have
They're
a really
shipped in.
bad life. Yeah.
Yeah, so
And they ship in airtight containers, and which is really, torturous for those fish. I was seeing a documentary earlier, and and in China they have these keychains which has alive animals. So yeah, it all just
Yeah.
very crazy.
that is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So you can
Yeah.
see a moving tortured animal with just slight a bit of water,
The Chinese, man. The
and
Chinese,
they have
man.
these.
Always find the weirdest things to do. But like,
I mean,
Yeah. I mean, who would get a pleasure in owning a keychain within a live animal. That's just really weird and crazy.
I mean, I'm just thinking, how long
I'm
does
sure
it
there's a
live?
market for it.
How long does it live, right? Do you buy a new keychain every other day?
I have no idea, but this is how they like it. Crazy
I'm
people,
pretty
I
sure.
think.
I'm pretty sure it just becomes like an ornament. Like you buy it alive, then after it passes away, it just passes away, and like that same pose.
Yeah,
so
maybe.
You just keep it.
Yeah. I think वो mummify हो जाता होगा
Oh.
अंदर. Like maybe it mummifies or
Yeah.
something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe with a
Okay,
chemical.
back to JFK.
Yes, back to JFK.
Yeah.
I have a
Zufishan,
question.
Back to JFK. Back to JFK.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
go.
you mentioned that you have an ambulance for the shelter. How does someone get an
Yeah.
ambulance? Like, I think that's just one of those technical things where someone does it and you're like, wow, what's the process?
Mm.
Do you just like
Yeah.
find one and buy it?
You know, when I did not have an ambulance, I used to, my animals used to suffer a lot, because obviously people, have issues putting them in auto rickshaws, in loaders and stuff. They don't want bleeding animals in their vehicles, even if you pay them. So, my own car was turned into an ambulance, and it was stinking and it had blood all over. So, but I couldn't
Wow.
fit in any
my
donkeys
God.
in my car. And I could obviously just fit birds, animals, and dogs and cats. But for the larger animals, I thought that I need an ambulance. So I sent a request to somebody, and that person was very supportive. He lives in United States. He owns a very big business company. So he sponsored ambulance for us, which I later
Wow.
turned and customized it. I customized it myself into an ambulance. It was just a plain van, a school
Oh, wow.
van. So now it has all equipments. It
Wow.
has dog catching poles. It has first aid systems, and it has a router and our contact
Wow.
details, so people
Yeah.
know that it's for animals. And whenever they see, they can just simply
Yeah.
call, and we can pick the animal. This is how it works.
Wow. One thing that I want to ask you is that how
Yeah,
are you
so-
guys facing the whole shootings now? Like I'm sure animals are still being shot every day. Like the dogs are still being shot. Are you guys fighting the authorities actively? Are you guys going the legal route? Are you guys just picking up animals who've just been shot? What's the process like that? Because I'm sure that's very close to you.
So, to be very honest, I know it's going to sound really, weird to you, but we're trying every option that you just mentioned. Even more than that, we, sending proposals to the government officials. We're going to authorities. We're going to cantonment boards, and I've made an entire proposal from JFK, which includes that how we can eliminate rabies, and how we can make the environment and dogs safe,
Yeah.
both for everybody. And the only solution is TNVR. Vaccinating the dogs. Killing is not an option. They have been killing dogs since 20 years now. What's the outcome? They're just
wow.
multiplying. So until and unless they adapt spaying and neutering dogs, vaccinating them, tagging them, just like turkey, it's not going to, be of any success. So what we're doing is we're advocating about it legally, privately, and what my ambulance is currently doing is that the main culling areas where they've sent these notices to housing societies and everything, our car is going, our ambulance is going, our team is going, we're picking them all up, we're
Wow.
vaccinating them, and we're taking them to another shelter, another farm that was just given to us for temporary
Wow.
use. So till the culling comes
Wow.
down, we'll be taking all these dogs from roads over there and vaccinating them, neutering them, so things can be better for them when some law changes and this culling comes to an end. So it's a lot of effort, because we get 200
It
plus cases each day that please come and pick this dog, please, we're worried for this dog. So this is not an end solution. You can't pick each and every dog from the roads and take them to shelters. The thing is
Yeah.
that our government, our society, the dogs need to have safe roads to live their life. Roads have to be safe. That is their home. When people are feeding them, they're free, they're open, they can roam around. That is what they deserve. They don't deserve to be in shelters. Shelters are supposed to be only for the sick, injured, and disabled animals. So this is the whole point.
Okay.
But
Okay, I
we
didn't know
figured
that.
out a temporary solution. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, this is how
Okay.
it's all working.
Now, what was your favorite animal that you've saved to date in over a year that you've been at this? what was the one animal that like that just like
Um,
stuck to your heart the most, and you're like, this is my favorite animal that I've saved up to this point. I don't know if
I
if
think
you have one,
it's a
but
donkey. It's a baby
yeah,
donkey. His name is
yeah,
Theo, and
okay,
I found him. Somebody reported an injured donkey, which was not able to walk, and from the
yeah,
streets of Johor town, it's a society in Lahore.
yeah,
The donkey literally had a very big swollen bone which was broken, and there was just pus oozing
okay,
out of his foot and everything.
ooh,
And when we
okay,
went to rescue him, we found out that he has a mother along with him that was also roaming the streets with him, which was pregnant.
hmm,
So Theo's mother was also
okay,
pregnant, and this family of three, they were roaming
yeah,
around on the streets. So when we went to rescue them, the master showed
yeah,
up and he did not let us take him. He said, "You're not going to treat
oh,
him. I don't want you to treat him." And it took us
oh,
3 hours to convince him that we need to treat
yeah,
this donkey, and we need to take him. He needs help, he needs a surgery. So it was very difficult to
uh-huh,
convince that man, and he even
oh
asked
wow,
us to pay him. He asked about 40,000 for
okay,
Theo, but finally we were able to convince him and take him for
yeah,
treatment. And Theo underwent three
yeah,
four surgeries, and now Theo's
okay,
leg is fixed, and he runs around like a Ferrari. He's always running around. He
oh my
escapes the
god,
fences. He's the first to
oh
greet all
my
guests because he
god,
knows a visitor means more treats. He loves carrots, he loves fruits, he loves bananas.
oh,
So Theo has a personality of a dog.
Oh.
He is not a donkey. He's just like a dog. And I'll share his pictures with you, and I
yeah,
usually post about him a lot. Usually he's
perfect,
in all interviews that I conduct at the shelter because Theo is always with me.
oh my god,
Like Theo is really close to me. I'm sure you can sense it from my voice that how connected I am to Theo. So he's
So he
like
said
my
yeah,
afternoon,
soul animal.
yes,
yeah,
animal.
I heard the pitch go up,
He's like my soul animal. And
oh
he's
my
really
Okay.
cute.
god,
Like he would,
cute,
give you kisses and stuff, and he loves being hand fed. He loves being pampered,
amazing,
and he runs. He runs in such a
yeah,
funny way. You'll
who
think it's a
doesn't,
kangaroo. He runs away like a
think it's a
kangaroo, like
kangaroo,
literally hops while running. Yeah, he's really funny.
dude,
So
guys,
it
this
has to be
grin over
Theo.
here, the
Theo,
smile
I
over here is
really love.
legit. Hearing stories like this, hearing stories like this are so wholesome, they're so nice. Zufishan, you
And
made my day.
knowing that what
I can die in peace now.
they and Saad, knowing that there was a time that Theo could not run, he was scared. He used to be scared of
Yeah,
humans. When earlier when he came to the shelter, when we used to go near him, he used to do this. He used to get scared that maybe she's going to hit me, maybe she's a bad
yeah.
person, like I've always seen.
Mm,
But it took 6 months for Leo to fall in love with me.
mm,
It took 6 months for him to trust
Wow.
me. And now he has a
yeah,
soul of a dog. He's not a donkey anymore.
amazing,
So yeah, this is how
amazing,
it is.
dude.
Okay,
That's
listen, I have one
crazy,
last
yaar.
question, even though we're running out of time.
Yeah.
You talk about doing surgeries and all this medical care. Um,
Hmm.
who does that? Like, I'm guessing you have like a trained professional or like a team of professionals.
So Salman, we basically have an onboard. We have a clinic, a hospital inside our shelter,
Okay.
which we had to make because we take so many critical animals, and the follow-up medications, the drips and IV medications, and monitoring, and the animals going up and down, their health fluctuating. So going to clinic 24 hours a day is not possible, because we're very far from the city. We're like 2 hours away from the city. So we had to have a vet on board, and the vet stays there. The animal doctor lives at the shelter. So he can treat all the rescued animals, he can follow up the prescriptions, he can perform surgeries, he can fix any animal that is getting critical, or any animal that is he's new at the shelter. So he's the one that treats all of them. So this is how we sustaining the entire medical and treatment part of the shelter. So this is how it
Okay.
works.
I see.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
All right.
So
And
it's a
on that
complete
bombshell,
system. We have an ambulance, we have a doctor, and it's a
Guys.
complete system.
No, that's actually really thorough and
Guys,
that's
what
amazing.
GFK has been able to do in 13, what GFK has been able to do in 13 months, very few shelters, ventures, whatever you want to call it, have been able to do in like over 2 to 3 years. So GFK has been growing really, really fast. We hope it doubles and triples in growth in the next year, in the years to come. But yeah, and on that bombshell, guys, we're done. Thank you so much, Zufishan, for coming through. It was really a pleasure. And
Thank you.
just
Thank
talking
you.
to you and just like, you know, hearing
Same
all
here.
these stories, they really
It has
warmed,
been a lot of
warmed
fun.
my heart up and everything.
I'm sure you'll feel much better when, and you know, you'll feel
Yeah,
more
we
positive when
feel
you
great.
visit the shelter. And I'm really looking forward to see you guys.
For sure. And we're done. Peace. Adios. Goodbye.